So we're doing a presentation on Cruel Intention. So the movie begins with Catherine and Cecile's mom and Cecile, and Catherine is asked to be take care of Cecile, but Catherine has inferior motive towards Cecile because Cecile is now dating her ex-boyfriend, Court. So Sebastian is Catherine's brother, and he makes a wager with Catherine that if he wins the wager, which is he gets Annette, a girl that is saving herself for marriage, to sleep with him. He gets to have sex with Catherine, but if Catherine wins the wager, which is to get Cecile to be humiliated, she will get Sebastian's car. So Cecile falls in love with her music teacher, and she tells Catherine, but Catherine tells Cecile's mother, and Cecile's mother asks them to break up. And then Catherine asks Cecile to get sexual experience from Sebastian so that she'll be able to experiment with Ronald. And the movie goes on. Sebastian tries to seduce Annette, but Annette refuses because she's heard about his reputation. But over time, Sebastian gets Annette to fall in love with him, and when Sebastian gets Annette to fall in love with him, and he sleeps with her, so he has won the wager, but he doesn't want to sleep with Catherine because he's in love with Annette. So Catherine threatens to destroy Annette's reputation, and so Sebastian is forced to break up with Annette. The movie goes on. Sebastian tries to get Catherine back when he finds out about Sebastian tries to get Annette back when he finds out about Catherine's manipulation, and but Catherine tells Ronald, Cecile's music teacher, that Sebastian has slept with Cecile, which is not true. But Ronald confronts Sebastian on the street, and they get into an accident, and Sebastian gets hit by a taxi. But before Sebastian dies, he confesses his love to Annette, and Annette confesses his love to him. And Sebastian leaves Annette with a journal where he has recounted Catherine's manipulation. And Annette makes copies of the journal and hands it out at Sebastian's funeral. And she titles the journal Cruel Intention. And that is the summary of the plot. On the social psychology concept of the movies, I did the scene where Catherine confronts Sebastian about his discrimination towards her, because when she threatens to destroy Cecile's reputation, he tells her that it's not nice, and she basically tells him that he thinks what she's doing is not right, but he goes around ruining other girls' reputation. And it's the idea, which is basically focused on the idea of gender and social soil, which is the idea that across cultures, men generally are more interdependent than women. It predicts that Catherine's role should be defined to conventional women role, which it is, because Catherine is not the conventional, modest woman, and she confronts Sebastian about, why she's expected to be this nice, gentle woman. And understanding these principles help understand the scene, because if we understand that conventionally women are supposed to be reserved and generous, we understand why Catherine is frustrated that she's expected to own this role, even though she likes being a sexual being and she feels like she has the right to do that. The next scene that was analyzed by Nzigi is where Annette and Sebastian break up, and Sebastian is breaking up because he wants to save Annette's reputation, but Annette denies that Sebastian is breaking up with him, and this denial and self-illusion goes along with the self-verification theory, which is people strive for stable, subjective beliefs about themselves because it gives them a sense of coherency, makes people more predictable. And this predicts that Annette, who is in love with Sebastian, will initially deny the breakup because it would disturb what she believes to be true, and which happens. And so breaking up with Sebastian will also lower her self-esteem, and people usually don't don't like doing this to themselves. They don't like lowering their self-esteem. So she wants to stay with Sebastian because it's very much what she knows, and it's also increase her self-esteem. And so understanding self-esteem and denial and how it works with the helps understand why Catherine Annette doesn't want to break up with Sebastian. The last scene is analyzed by Victoria, and it's where Catherine tells Sebastian that he manipulated she manipulated him to break up with Annette, and this is a huge play on emotions, which is a brief, specific, social-oriented state that helps humans meet their goals. When Catherine reveals to Sebastian what she has done, Sebastian he really, his face is still, tears trickle in his eyes, and he really is in a state of shock, and all these emotions help convey to the viewers that, he's in shock by this manipulation, and he really didn't know what was going on. And Catherine uses this to her advantage because since she has seen that her manipulation has invoked this emotion in Sebastian, which she knew that they will invoke. So Catherine feels victorious in this scene, and it helps the viewers understand that because Sebastian's face is really broken, and Catherine has that smile on her face, which, the emotion between just bad, being sad and, being victorious. But Catherine also tells Sebastian about her manipulation because Sebastian tells her that he reconciles Cecile and Ronald. And so by doing, so this breaks Catherine's face because she wanted to break up Cecile. She wanted to ruin Cecile's reputation. But now that she knows that her brother has basically made Cecile reconcile with Ronald, she's jealous. And so by telling him about her manipulation, she basically is trying to save her face. So self-esteem, she's trying to save her face because she doesn't want to look bad in front of Sebastian. So, how does the movie succeed in conveying social psychology theories? Yes, it does. The movie is a very good movie because it has a lot of characterization. The manipulative character, the coming of age character, the naive character. I feel like the movie just used all the theory of self-concept, gender and social self-esteem. The gender and social self with Catherine, self-esteem with Annette and Catherine also, and just Sebastian just growing from wanting to be at first having the intention of being manipulative and then changing his mind later. I think that the movie is very successful in that way that it integrates social psychology theories. The plot draws the viewer in because there's a story. We see Cecile and we see Catherine in the beginning and Sebastian with their motives and how their motives change over time. Sebastian to become, to change his initial motive, but Catherine to hold her motive all the way to the end and, causing more danger because Sebastian dies just because she lies to Ronald that Sebastian slept with Cecile, and they have getting this fight, and Sebastian dies in the end just because of Catherine's manipulation throughout the movie. So it's very drawing to the characters are very drawing to the viewers, and it has true meaning, and it just brings an example of how the social psychology theories come to life. It leaves viewer with something to talk about, something to think about, and to make the connection between the theories that we learned in the book and real life. Like the movie is a representation of a real life. The reference citation, the textbook, Ziggy's research draft, Victoria's research draft, and yours and mine. Thank you. The end.